Hello all and welcome to All Red. It's another massive match for Liverpool coming up at the weekend. It's the late game on Sunday where Liverpool travel to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London and face a somewhat informed Tottenham team. Now, my apologies, I'm not feeling very well, so let's get to it. Because this is the channel that is all Liverpool all the time. It's All Red. Please hit that like button and consider subscribing as we continue to cover the best team in the world. It's Liverpool, of course. I'm going to break down the starting 11 that I think will come out against Tottenham. This is the team that I think Arne Slot prefers at the moment, and let's jump into it. It's, of course, going to be Alisson Becker at the back. Cleveland Kelleher did well against Southampton, but Alisson is number one. I don't think we need to really debate that anymore. It's going to be Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez. I think this is the preferred pairing with Konate out, and so I think Gomez stays in there. Kwanzaa is just a mess right now. Man, I really hope he figures it out because he has been just shambolic whenever he's come in and tried to play center back. He was not fully 100% at fault on the Southampton goal, but definitely can't let a player like that get onto his right foot. Just keep him left. All right, so Virgil and Gomez, that is a pairing that is kind of a wild card. And I think it depends on how Tottenham are feeling on the day, because there will be gaps, unlike when Konate is in there, and that is something to watch, especially with an attack like what Tottenham has had recently. They've been scoring a lot of goals, and so I do have concerns, especially with players like Son and James Maddison running at you on that right side of our defense. So it's going to be Trent and Robertson, I think. Andy Robertson, we've spoken about this, hasn't looked good. Red card, whether or not it was a red card, doesn't matter. He put himself in that position, and then he's let in two penalties, or he's given away two penalties in recent weeks. So Robertson is a weak link as well, but this, I think, is the preferred back for Arne Slot. You could probably argue Tsimikas comes in, but I think it's a little early to give Tsimikas a start. He played a half of football against Southampton. Looked fine, but I don't think Slot throws him into a game like this after being out for so long. I think he's going with Robertson. So hopefully there's some semblance of defense there on the back line. We'll see. I've got concerns. But ahead of them, it's McAllister and Gravenberch. I think we come back with a fully rested, fully fit McAllister and Gravenberch, which is probably going to be the strongest avenue of this team. We haven't seen McAllister in a little bit because of the suspension in the Premier League. So I think he'll be coming in somewhat rested form. And then Gravenberch as well finally got a rest, and he's gotten decent amount of rest in the past week or two. So I think this is a really strong duo, because of they've been able to be rested essentially, which is fantastic. And of course, we saw Alexis McAllister yesterday against Southampton, but he didn't have to do a whole lot, and he was able to come off in a decent amount of time. So I think it's going to be won or lost in that midfield. We've spoken at length about the gaps in the midfield, in Liverpool's midfield in the recent weeks, and I'm hopeful that having McAllister and Gravenberch back together shores up some of that space in the middle of the park and doesn't leave our back line out to dry quite as much as what we've been seeing. So being an away game, probably in a time where Tottenham feel they can get a result because they've been getting results against City. and they've been really kind of smashing teams, more so than Liverpool for sure. I do expect Arne Slot to have a plan of action to thwart that, looking at recent game film and all that stuff. But Szoboszlai, I think, comes in as well. This guy I think he's improving week by week. Szoboszlai is getting better. Man, you can see that work rate is just absolutely incredible. He is the engine room for this team in that position. Not really meant to be scoring, but hopefully, we've started to see a little bit of improvement in that area. I'm hopeful that he, continues to kind of shoot from outside, take chances, and just let it rip. I think that's what everybody wants to see. So Szoboszlai there, that's another really important key factor. I think also the fact that you've got Harvey Elliott back, you've got Curtis Jones. We now have a lot of depth in this midfield three, this trio. Endo looked really good against Southampton. Some said he was the man of the match. So even that bit of confidence can give us, basically a replacement for each one of these players. And that means, players can go out and run with 110% for 60, 70 minutes, knowing that they've got an ample replacement coming in behind them to come up against tired Tottenham legs. So I think it's Salah, of course, back in. Salah loves a good game against Tottenham. I think it's Diaz on the left. We know Diaz also loves a good match against Tottenham in, last year's reverse fixture or last year's fixture at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We all remember it. It was one of the, if not the most, fraudulent matches in Premier League history, where Diaz's goal was ruled out. And so Diaz loves to score against Tottenham. And then it's Diogo Jota, who also loves to score against Tottenham. This is a storied fixture. There's a lot of history here, even just recent history. These games are usually high scoring. There's usually drama. And so, I expect this to be, kind of a nerve-wracking match. My score prediction here is I think we let in two. Away from home. With kind of a makeshift back line, considering no Konate. And, basically, I think they're going to be running at Joe Gomez and Andy Robertson as much as they can, exploiting those two positions on the pitch. But I am predicting Liverpool are able to score 3 and come away with a crucial 3 points. We have to have 3 points here. I mean, this is a game where we could be coming into this match in second place in the Premier League. If Chelsea wins, their match before we play, we will be a point behind them, albeit with a game in hand. But, after we've had such a massive lead, specifically over Chelsea, to come into this game, most likely, I expect Chelsea to win. And to come into this game, a point beneath them, that's going to sting a little bit, and especially if we drop points, even if we draw, it's going to be a huge deflation, I think, because we'll be level, game in hand, of course, but still, there's a mental thing there, and if we're able to maintain that 2-point lead over Chelsea by getting the 3 points against Tottenham, it's going to be massive, massive, massive. So get your comments in below. I will try to type out a reply with my sick and tired hands. But would love to know your thoughts. Did you agree with the starting 11 here? And what are your score predictions? As always, let's go, boys, up the Reds.